Hi, my name is Joey Chalita from Sydney, Australia, and the reason you're hopefully watching this video is because I'm looking to complement my application to become a legal recruiter at Crosby AI with this visual cover letter, just so you can show how very excited I am at the opportunity to interview for the position. I want to speak about two things today: attitude, aptitude. And I want to connect it all to a book I've read called Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guidara. Yes, this was on The Bear, but more recently, it was on Nicole Sierra's article around Crosby AI and something you, Ryan, were reading. And I found quite a number of things that are quite helpful that not only will I carry into this, but also for the rest of my days. So there are two key things I learned from it. Number one, do more than people reasonably expect. And number two, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? My answer to this is naturally to record a video for the position and just really put myself out there and let the idea that if I succeed, ease any discomforts that things may not work out. And if not, that's okay. Beyond that, and circling back to attitude, and taking part of a note on this book is that the way I sort of see myself as a legal recruiter is very much like the usher or front of house in a kitchen or restaurant, being that I welcome people in, I get them excited for the meal, and I let the chefs do all the cooking in the kitchen and preparing things. So with my role is to carry the excitement and the belief and welcome people in, whether that be lawyers, clients, or potential new hires. Get them excited about all the amazing things we're doing at Crosby AI. And part of that as well is when people look at something, they don't buy a product or a service per se. They buy a belief that you can potentially do it better than the competitor, or that you're doing something different and exciting. And I think you need a very excitable, passionate guy, maybe even from Australia, who can carry that belief to the market and get them on board. So that is part of it. And that's generally what I feel like is happening at Crosby AI. For myself, I spent the last 6 years around three key things, including recruitment, the legal space, being a qualified lawyer, and technology, especially my local tech startup space. And I'm really passionate when all three of these key areas that I've been preparing for collide. And that's exactly what is happening at Crosby AI. Because legal space is full of incredibly smart people doing incredibly difficult work. And they need a system in place or a tool or an organization who can ease that burden and optimize everything about it, because nobody likes contract review. Unless you do, and that's perfectly fine and you can review, but majority of people, I would say, I don't want to spend hours doing all the nitpicking, paperwork, admin stuff. The writer send it to someone else, like Crosby AI, to do the work for them and much better and faster than anyone else. So that's why I'm really excited about this. And I do understand a lot of people can make claims that I'm passionate, I learn real quick, I pay attention, but that excitement only gets you so far. So we're gonna go to the next thing, which is aptitude. And how can that best be showed? Well, this is where things get even more weird. So you probably noticed this wheel generator to my right. That contains all the names I found on LinkedIn of people who are lawyers who are currently working at Crosby AI. And so to show that I can pay attention, that I really am invested in Crosby AI, and that I can find the future of people, well, it's good to look at where we're at the moment and how we can best serve that and keep the culture really well before just letting anyone in. So I'm going to click a button. I don't know who's coming up, but I'm going to pull out 5 names, and from there, let you know everything I know about them. Yes, it's a little bit like Mike Ross. Forgive me for not being original, but again, wanted to show aptitude. So hopefully this works, and hopefully I don't mess this up. Let's go. Sorry for the sound. Jogu. Okay, so he is currently a commercial counsel lawyer at Crosby AI, and he's been there since May this year. Prior to that, this guy's a stacked profile where he's been at Latham & Watkins. He was there for around 3 years, did his Juris Doctor at Duke, and before that had his bachelor's at Cambridge University. We'll find out at the end if I'm right. But I believe that's the case. So who's next? Let's just move that, shall we? Mariah Saad. Okay, this one's interesting and really lucky because she's a fellow Aussie. Would you look at that? So she's currently in commercial counsel at Crosby has been since April this year. Prior to that, she was at Legal Vision, an exemplary uh, law firm that do things quite differently in their structure. So was there for 2 years, 7 months, and specialized in a lot of areas of IP, commercial, and has a little subspecialty in fashion, which is really bloody cool. Also worked at or studied communication and law at UTS, which is also my alumni. So we produce great people. Carrying on. Next up is Serena. So it's a little bit different. Legal analyst, has been since June 2026, of course. Prior to that, she studied at the University of Chicago, which was computer science. I think she's still there from memory. I don't think there's prior employment because I think this is her first full-time position. Continuing more. 3 for 5 so far. Alison Letcher. Yes, she's got great hair as well from memory. Is currently in counsel. Has been at Crosby since June 2026. Prior to that, she was at a college. So I think, and what would probably been quite horrible, is very much seems to be a people person and communicating with a lot of people in operations. Prior to ACT, she was at King and Bella, where she was there for 3.5 years. Then prior to that, she had a Juris Doctors at Whittier University. And prior to that, I think undergrad at Belmont. Once more. Sydney Azzolino. Also has a pretty stacked CV, as I would claim. Did a Juris Doctor at Santa Clara with a specialty in IP. Prior to that as well, undergraduate at Colorado University. Also a great name. And prior, like myself, was an editor at quite a number of law journals where, publishing quite complex information into a thing for the masses, into quite a number of things. Prior to that, I believe she was at law firms for 2 years, nearly 3, so probably 2 years, 9 months. And prior to that was been at Crosby since September last year, and I can see why, because as commercial counsel, because of just their quite stacked specialty and all the extracurriculars. So that's 5 for 5. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I just want to say that given the opportunity, I would love to interview with you guys to really showcase why I feel so passionately about all of this, and as well as the fact that I'm really good at what I care about. And what I care about is Crosby II, so hopefully I'll get the chance to prove it. Thank you so much for watching. I know this is very random, but again, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Thanks.